Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be answering 10 frequently asked questions I get about resin. If you have any questions that I don't cover in this video, be sure to comment them down below and I will do a part 2. Okay, so let's get right into this video. Question number 1, what resin do you use? I actually use two, Liquid Diamond and Ardent Glow. I use Liquid Diamond to cast very detailed molds like this one. Because of its low viscosity, I get less bubbles around the engravings. And as for Ardent Glow, of all the resins I've tried, it's the one that gives me the shiniest dome, plus the pieces come out really stiff and hard. Question number 2, where do you buy your molds and supplies? I buy my molds from Instagram sellers like Milky Rainbow Deco and Neko Deco Craft Shop, and I also find some really good molds on AliExpress and Fun Showcase. As for the supplies, I buy them on Amazon, Michaels, AliExpress, Resin for glitter, and Resin is now actually starting to sell molds, which is super exciting. Be sure to check out my description box for links to my favorite Instagram sellers, and there's also a Resin discount link down there in case you guys are interested in trying Resin's gorgeous glitters. Question number 3, do you use personal protective equipment while working with resin? Yes, I always do. I use a 3M respirator with organic vapor filters and gloves. I've also invested in a Dyson air purifier, which I always have running while I'm doing a resin pour. Resin is a chemical reaction, so it's important to protect yourself. Question number 4, which do you prefer, epoxy resin or UV resin? Hands down, epoxy resin. UV resin is great because of the instant gratification of how quickly you can make something, but it doesn't beat epoxy resin's beautiful glossy finish. Plus, UV resin is more expensive than epoxy, and I always tend to feel rushed while working with UV because I get nervous that it's going to start curing on me before I finish working with it. Question number 5, what do you fill your resin shakers with? I mostly use baby oil because it's super cheap and it's easy to find, but I also use the silicone shaker oils they send us in the Sophie and Toffee Elves box. Question number 6, how do you seal your resin shakers? I actually have a video right here dedicated to this question that you can watch after you're done watching this video. But to simplify it, I use a silicone tip tool to spread out UV resin along the edges of the cavity of the shaker. Then, while pressing down on the shaker film with a set of tweezers, I shine my UV light to cure the resin. And just to make sure it cures properly, I will let it sit a few more minutes under my stronger UV lamp. Question number 7, how do you color your resin? I use a bunch of different things like acrylic paint, mica powders, alcohol inks, chalk pastels, glitter. You can even use eyeshadow makeup, but I haven't tried that yet. My favorite ways to color resin is using translucent resin pigments and just glitter on its own. Question number 8, how do you color in the details of your resin pieces? Again, I have another video right here dedicated to this question, but I just use acrylic paint and a dotting tool and literally just paint in the engraved areas. For pieces with finer details, I use a regular paintbrush like so, then use a baby wipe to wipe off the excess paint. Question number 9, what is tacky resin? Now, this question, I've been having such a hard time thinking on how to describe what tacky resin is. But I'm going to try, and I'm also going to show you so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So in a lot of my videos, when I mention tacky resin, what I'm referring to is when the resin has been sitting for an hour or two, and it's in that stage where it's thickened up enough that you can't mix it anymore, but it's still soft that if you poke it with a toothpick or a tool, it will still pull away from the resin in strings. This is the point where I like to add my next layer of resin because it bonds better. I know a lot of resin artists suggest waiting for each layer to fully cure, but when I've tried this in the past, as I'm screwing in the eye pin, I've had a few pieces separate at that point. And last but not least, question number 10, what's your number 1 tip for resin beginners? My number 1 tip is to make sure that you can dedicate a well-ventilated area for resin, especially if you're going to be working with epoxy and have pets and small children. It's important to keep resin out of their arm's reach. Plus, pet hair in resin isn't that nice, unless you tended it to be that way. Okay guys, so those are my answers to 10 frequently asked questions I get about resin. I hope you guys found this video helpful, and I hope you guys learned something. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up, and be sure to put a nerdy emoji in the comments down below so I know. Also, don't forget to comment down below any questions that you have that I didn't cover in this video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!